So I said in the very first video of this section that in order to write an equation, even for a parallel and perpendicular line, there are only two things that we need. We need to know the slope and we need to know a point. This is true really not just of parallel and perpendicular, but of any equation, slope and a point. This problem gives us a point. It says our line passes through -4, 6. Again, we prefer the y-intercept. That's an easier equation to write, but we take what we can get. We also need to know the slope. We aren't given the slope outright, but we are given this equation, 2x plus 3y equals 12. And we're told that our line is perpendicular to 2x plus 3y equals 12. So we need to know what's the slope of 2x plus 3y equals 12, and then find the equation that is perpendicular to that. So in order to find the slope, it needs to be in slope-intercept form. So that's step one, is to put this equation into slope-intercept form. So let's do that first. So let's subtract 2x on both sides. Okay, 2x minus 2x cancels. This is the subtraction property of equality. So we've got 3y equals, and we can write it as 12 minus 2x. I'm going to do negative 2x plus 12, just so the x comes first, then it looks like mx plus b. And then next we're going to divide by 3. Everything has to get divided by 3. This is the division property of equality. When you divide by 3, you have to divide everything. So 3y divided by 3 is y. Negative 2 divided by 3 would give me something awful if I did it on the calculator, but I don't want to do it on the calculator because I want a fraction for the slope. And 12 divided by 3 is 4. Okay, so the slope of this line is negative 2/3. But I want the perpendicular slope. So the perpendicular slope, I'm going to do m with the little perpendicular symbol here. The perpendicular slope is the negative reciprocal. So I flip it and change the sign. So instead of negative 2/3, it's positive 3/2. Okay, so I'm going to use that as my slope. And then our point, -4, 6, is going to be my x1 and y1, because since I have a point and not the y-intercept, I'm not going to be able to use slope-intercept form. I'm going to have to use point-slope. The problem tells me to write the equation in slope-intercept form, but I have to start with point-slope and then work my way to it. So it's y minus y1 equals m, which is 3/2, times x minus, and then x1 is -4. Okay, and so we're going to convert this into slope-intercept form. As usual, the first thing I'm going to do is clean up that minus negative. So minus -4, we're going to turn into +4. Okay, and then we need to do the distributive property with the 3/2. So 3/2 times x is going to give us 3/2 x. And then 3/2 times 4 is 12/2, which reduces to 6. Plus side in the middle. And then the last thing to do is use the addition property of equality to add 6 on both sides. So we have y equals 3/2 x plus 12. Let me go ahead and write my properties in here. This was the addition property of equality, and this was the distributive property. This is how we show our work, is by writing the properties that we used, okay? So y equals 3/2 x plus 12 is going to be our final answer. That is perpendicular to the original equation we were given, which was 2x plus 3y equals 12, and it goes through the point -4, 6. Y equals 3/2 x plus 12.